Hey guys, shooting for fun here. Hey, today we're going to do a little different kind of video here. Um, what I want to do is to show you something that most people don't do on a regular basis. I'm probably a little more anal about it than I should be, but um, you're not going to hurt any part of your guns by cleaning them. What hurts them is dirt, debris, deposits, oil deposits, things like that. That's gonna, create rust spots. Okay, moisture, things like that. So here's what I do: is uh, I've got a little High Point 995. It's a 9mm carbine. This is one of the magazines. This is a High Point magazine. It's a 10 round. You can see it's pretty thin there. And it holds 10 rounds of 9mm. And this one I've already wiped off. And what I'm going to do is I want to show you a difference here. I went to the range today and did a little shooting, and I just shoot, just some, about 4 mags that I go through, and or 3 or 4 mags. And so I don't spend a whole lot of time at the range like a lot of people do. They'll spend a half a day there, bam, spend 20 minutes analyzing the shot, and then bam, and spend me, I'm there, I'm bam, 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 I can shoot up, 50 rounds in 10 minutes time, 5, 10 minutes time. I'm pretty quick, so. But what I wanted to do is I want to show you about how much. Now this one, like I said, I've already cleaned off. I took some of our little rim oil here, Remington rim oil, and I put it onto a little Q-tip. And what I want to do is I want to just go through, and this is what I do every time when I clean my guns. When I come home from the range, I clean my guns. I pull the magazines out, and I just clean up around the top here where it catches in, and right around there where the catch is. And as you can see, like I said, I've already wiped this one off a little bit. And I don't know if you can see how close that is there. I can get it in the frame there. Okay. And then I just take a rag, and this is like a nylon kind of rag. It's where it doesn't have any lint deposit. You can use an old shirt or whatever you have handy here, just as long as it's lint free. Okay. And we wipe it off, and I reload my magazines so we'll take to the gun range for the next time. Okay. Now, here's one that I haven't cleaned yet, and we're going to use a new swab here. I'm going to just put a little bit of oil on there. And what I do is I just run it up the top. I don't take the whole magazine apart and stuff like that. That's something that you might want to do maybe once a year or something like that. Okay. But I just clean up around the top of the follower. And now, look at that one. You can see that. We'll bring it up a little closer there. That's pretty dirty, okay? And that's just from the magazine, okay? And then what I do is I'll take, and you can see the difference, the one that I wiped off already and the one that I just did, okay? Now, depending upon the type of ammo you shoot, some burns cleaner than others. So a lot of times you won't have that big of stuff, but basically I don't do much but target shooting. Just basic plinking and stuff. All you're going to do is shoot cans and 2-liter bottles and metal targets, that kind of thing. You don't really want to spend the high dollar on some really decent ammo just for blowing up 2 liters, right? So I buy whatever I can find, the cheapest stuff at the time, and most of the time it's usually a brand of Federal, which is still to say, even though it's cheap, it's good ammo. I don't have any problems with it. I haven't had a whole lot of jams, and a lot of that's with the magazines and the gun rather than the ammo itself. But I haven't had hardly ever had any misfires, hardly. And you don't get the problems with the centerfire as much as what you do with the rimfire. But that's what I do, and I get ready to, when I clean my guns, I clean the mags off and uh, wipe them off real good, and just get them cleaned, and I get them reloaded to put back into the guns. Okay? Now you can see that's just 10 rounds was shot through that, so you can see how kind of dirty that is compared to where we already wiped it off once before. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one more. Now this is our Red Ball 20 round magazine. This is one that Red Ball Sports put out. It's the only one that's actually authorized or certified through High Point as being a high capacity extended magazine. I've had a lot of people say that the Pro Mags just do not work well in it for some reason. They jam and things like that, and they have a lot of problems with them. Okay, but this is actually certified. They sell these off of the High Point website. So and they do work great. It looks almost like a kind of a boomerang looking thing, like two magazines stuck together basically, but it does work great. I haven't had any problems out of this. Now this one holds 20 rounds. And we haven't really shot this one as much as we have the other ones, but you can see there we just around the hole there, around where the catch is. But as you can see there again, kind of like that first one, it does get pretty dirty. Okay? And that's why what I do is I'll just take and I'll just, clean the followers off basically. Wipe it down and I reload my mags. Okay, so the magazine, you're not sticking a dirty mag inside of the clean gun once you clean it. Okay, so that's our High Point 995s. We have our 10 round mags, and then we have our 20 round Red Ball magazine, and we just clean them off and wipe them off and reload them for each time we go to the range. Now, one other mag-related topic here I want to just touch on real quick. And a lot of you have seen these guys, and we did a couple of videos on it. This is a Spanish-made Star BM. It's an import gun. This one, I think I paid $189 for it. I have done a little cleaning up, some rebluing and things like that. And it's a good shooting little gun. 9mm, 8-round magazine. Now the magazines, when they import these guys, they import the magazines as well. But usually when people buy the guns, they'll buy extra mags too. So the magazines end up getting kind of harder to find more so than the gun. Now, what we did was, we watched some other videos and we were curious to see if it actually worked. And I wanted to tell you that it does actually work. This is a Pro Mag SIG 225P6 magazine. You can pick these up. These, I've seen them online as high as $80 for these magazines. $50 and $80 for these magazines. And this little High Point guy, I found it as cheap as like $14.99. Usually they're around, $15, $18, something like that. Now, what you have to do is, it's a little bit different. The locking channel here is a little bit narrower and doesn't come back as far as this one does. So what I did was I took a little Dremel with a cutting wheel on it, and all I did was I just held back onto the edge, and I just cut back on the edge a little bit on each side just to notch it out a little bit, and then ground it out in the center there. You can also do, if you got some of these guys, these kind of little wheels like this, or some of these I've seen, some of them have where they have this wheel, and you might actually find the actual, right exact size for that. This one's a little bit big, but this one works pretty good here as well. You can see it goes right up inside of there where the top is. So what I did was, this is my original. Right? This is our Pro Mag. Right? If you look, it looks like it stands a little bit taller, and that's because of the base, the plastic base here, where this has the thin base, metal base. But what you do is you take and you cut out this notch a little bit to where it comes back, just past the curve there. And then they say you deburr these a little bit, the little top parts of it here. I did it just a little bit just to polish it. It didn't really make a difference. But and then what you do is when you pull this, when you have it apart, you take this base and you have to. I did it on a portable sander, little belt sander. You grind this plastic foot off because it's actually a little bit bigger and it won't allow the magazine to extend all the way up in there until you shave it down. And now you see it's in there, and we get a pretty decent little fit. I give it a little more room there. Actually, it could have came up a little bit tighter there, but it's close enough. Okay, and you see it pulls out. Now this is a little stiff here because it is a little new magazine. We haven't taken it to the range, but see, once it passes back that little hump there, and then you just put it up in there, and it locks in there. And we tried couple of rounds with it, cycled it through there, and it does function correctly. It comes right up into our same space. Okay, and it does lock back when you have the empty mag. Okay, and it's in there good and solid. Okay, so now, and if you notice, when we do our release, it drops it out. Okay. Now we did remove the slide release, or the magazine release on here, the safety, the mag safety, which allows us to be able to put our hammer back without the magazine in there. Okay. Originally, this gun comes with that magazine the magazine safety, where when you pull the magazine out, you can cock the hammer back, but you can't fire the gun. Okay? So I did remove that in the aspect of it because it's just easier to clean it and to work with it and stuff when it's out like that. Okay. But if you take these Pro Mags, it's a SIG 225 P6 magazine. It's an 8-round magazine, and all you have to do is you widen that notch a little bit, cut it back a little bit farther, polish up here around the edges a little bit. You sand off that foot, that little plastic footer, to where it'll allow the magazine to go up far enough in there, and you get you a extra magazine for half of the price of what they want for the originals, because the originals are getting harder to find. And this is on your Star BM. This is it's an 8-round. It's an all metal slide, all steel frame and steel slide barrel and everything. It's a little heavy. It weighs a little bit, just over 2 pounds. But I mean, it's just a great shooting little gun. Okay. And for, like I said, for around $200, you just can't go wrong. And like every import, once they stop coming in, they dry up, the prices do go up on those things. So that, and parts do get harder to find. So that's one of the things you want to keep in mind there. While we did our little intro to our magazine cleaning. Like I said, you don't hurt anything by cleaning it. It only makes it better. Right? Wipe them off, clean them off good. Keeps them clean, keeps your gun clean, and helps everything function a lot better. Alright guys, have fun out there shooting. I'm shooting for fun, and thanks for watching.